What is it like to invest a lot of time and money into something, but then after all that time and money, it still sucks? Like, I have another YouTube channel. I spent a lot of money on audio, and it still doesn't sound good. I have a Shure 7MB microphone, supposedly the best microphone for podcasting. It's like a $400 microphone. Still sounds like ass. I bought a bunch of other microphones. They don't sound much better. They are XLR cables with a Scarlett 222 thing, and I don't think they sound good. And it drives me insane. And then you go to Reddit and you ask some audio engineers, they're like, oh, put the EQ pass and blah, blah, blah. And I think that's a feeling that not enough people talk about. There's this great episode of Futurama. I think it's maybe the last episode before it got canceled in its first run, where Fry wants to play this instrument, but the instrument's like really hard to play. It's like an alien instrument. It's called a xylophone or some other bullshit, and he's just got like these. He can't play it with his human fingers, and he makes a deal with the devil to get robot hands to play it really, really well. And I just think, I feel like when I'm making a video or creating other things, I feel like the end product is never as good as it should be. I'm always seeing like tons of other people who are making better thumbnails, who are doing like advanced editing, you're doing motion graphics and After Effects, and it just gives you like such anger and anxiety. There is nothing more frustrating than spending hours and hours and hours, and it's still not good enough, and you're not quite sure how to get it good enough, and you just see a bunch of tutorials online that don't really kind of give you the skills about how to improve it, and it's just beyond frustrating. And it's anxiety producing because really you need like mentorship from someone who's really got their shit together, but that's not the easiest thing to access, and it's so fucking frustrating. It's so depressing, and you just want to do the thing that's successful, that'll get you paid, but all the things that will get you paid just require 10 times more effort, just being the imperfect artist. And you see so many people who succeed and are great and who make it seem so effortless, and you're just like, please, let me peer beyond the veil. Let me see what your process is. How do I do this without spending 6 to 8 hours? Because there's nothing worse than when you do spend 6 to 8 hours, you feel like shit at the end of it. And you know what you have at the end of it all is still kind of meh. It's still not great. Just makes you feel inadequate. And I don't know what the solution is for that. I don't know how you get good. Because most of the way is just like taking a class or troubleshooting, and then you just find out that like what you want to do, what you thought you could do in 8 hours is actually 16 or 17 or 20 hours. And you just or you try and recreate something that works and it still looks like shit. You have a good font, you try and have an image, but you just know it's not working. And it gives you a tremendous amount of anxiety. And I don't know how you get past that. Just, nobody talks about being burnt out. Nobody talks about being the imperfect artist, being Fry with those robot fingers trying to do your masterpiece. Where do I get my robot fingers? Where do I make my deal with the devil where just things work? Because, my skill that I spent a lot of time was writing, and it turns out writing is probably the most useless skill. Anyone who can put words to page can be a writer and a communicator. Which fucking is useless. You need to do some sort of technical thing. You need to learn a software. You need to learn audio engineering. You need to learn something that not a lot of people can do, that people will be willing to pay you for. And here we are, New York City, Times Square. The place where people think dreams are made of, where you can make it. Or maybe you won't make it. Maybe no one can make it. And you just walk these streets just barely surviving for 20 plus years and never quite having the money to make it. But each one of these people, where do they live? What apartments do they have? How much is their income? How do they afford to live in this city where, a piece of shit hole in the wall is anywhere between $3 to $5 grand? What are their stories? What are all of their stories in this great, wide, open world? And I'm not quite sure what those stories are. I just know that being here reminds me of my constant imperfections. So thanks for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed this depressing log. And have a good time wherever you are. Take it easy.